Hospitals are going through digital transformation, and artificial intelligence can be an important part of that. But AI requires a lot of new things from the hospitals and also from technical partners. One of the great importance parts of this project has been the collaboration between technical and clinical, and then the legal and ethical part of our experts, because artificial intelligence is built on data, and access to data is something that is very critical. So together, the technical team, the clinical teams, and the legal and ethical experts can ensure access to data. And with this project, we have learned a lot about that.
One of the biggest challenges that we have faced was about data availability, data integrity, and data interoperability. You know, these days personal data are protected under very strict legislation, and to have access to this private and personal data is quite difficult because many bureaucracy is necessary. Every hospital has a different IT system, just like speaking different languages. So in order to adapt all this system, you have to harmonize the IT systems of the hospitals.
Building AI for hospitals is not just machine learning and data sets. You also need a lot of IT infrastructure. You need to collect the data, you need to store the data somewhere, you need to run the algorithms, and you need to show the results for the users. And for this you need all the components. Otherwise, how can you use AI? And it's fairly easy to do this or design this on the paper, on reports and reviews, but try to do it in real life. And this is what we did in AICCELERATE.
So AICCELERATE paved the way for the implementation of artificial intelligence in the clinical settings of the hospital of the future. Although we have developed some valuable technologies, the main lesson learned is that we have learned how to implement these solutions in the future, how to do these projects in the future, and how to develop innovation actions in the future.
AI is going to be the solution for the future. It's going to help clinicians to make their job easier, and then they have to tackle more interesting and more serious problems. It's going to help them. It's going to be a very powerful tool into their hands. It's going to make their daily routines easier. Also, the clinicians will have to face new challenges for their personal improvement. Now they will have to understand data, read data, and analyze data.
We are very disconnected. And we learned that, for example, several stakeholders require a better connection with each other. So we don't speak the same language of technical persons. We don't speak the same language of patients sometimes. And this is a challenge. So we learned that from the very beginning of these projects, we must sit at the same table, share all our problems, and share all the challenges, and then try to work all together.
We have gained a lot of experiences driven through the medical sector that helped us a lot to develop all these IT systems. It's important for us, the technology developers, to understand the daily life or the daily routine of the people that are dealing with healthcare.
We should start discussions about how the use cases are going to be demonstrated, how they're going to be deployed and presented, and about the IT infrastructure regarding this deployment. These discussions should start at day one.
We've learned a lot of things during the process of development and also collaboration with the technical partners. So just for that have a lot of impact and value what we've done. We've get to have a final dashboard and algorithms that help on that. Of course, these processes needs time and data, and to see these algorithms on the clinical setting, we still need to have improvements of the algorithm and more validations and go through all the validity processes that ask to that kind of crucial algorithms that then will help a clinician take decisions.
We should be more focused on single use cases instead of having multiple purposes, multiple outcomes from a single project, because in healthcare most of the time the features, the variables, the clinical discussions change from disease to disease, change from prediction problem to a prediction problem inside the very same disease. That's why I believe that for these kind of projects, to achieve the collaboration that I mentioned inside the hospital and among the hospitals, maybe it's better to focus on one challenge, solve it, deploy it, and then I think most of the challenges will be solved for the next one.
remarked the importance of the co-designing and the user-centered approach. So I will say that for whoever wants to create a new solution with AI, with robotics, it's really important to gather feedback from the real users, from the children, from elderly people or adults, to create together the process, to iterate together and to arrive to a final solution that is at that point helpful for everyone, because it was a joint process.
I think that the promise of AI is big, but it requires careful analysis and choosing what are the important needs where AI can really bring added value. So real patients, real clinicians, what are their pressing problems, and how then artificial intelligence can be added into those patient pathways to support the clinicians and to help the patients do better in their life.
Even if you have the best digital healthcare solution for patients and doctors, if they don't want to use it, this will not serve to anyone, right? So when you are designing this kind of solutions, you have taken into consideration the different perspectives of the different patients and healthcare providers. Otherwise, you may have some failures, or you may not achieve the goals of your digital solutions or your project.
In the past year, the artificial intelligence is growing up in terms of technology and in terms of data that are really important for the ingestion of the algorithm. But then also on the other side, we see that in Europe also the legislation is changing, and we are introducing the AI Act. It's the first act in the world that is trying to facilitate on one side the use of artificial intelligence tools, but then giving guarantees on how this artificial intelligence works.
AICCELERATE is a great reminder for everyone of the complexity of implementing AI in the clinical setting. From the beginning of the project, there needs to be an involvement and an alignment of all the stakeholders, from the technical team, the clinical team, the legal team, the ethical committee, the data protection people. Everybody needs to be involved and in the same line of thinking from the beginning, and this is absolutely crucial.